Hey, Birdie Wooster. Hi, Nomad Farmer. What's up with that crazy audio, like not a hiss, a spike? I don't know what that is, guys. Let's check out something else. Let's check out some Marius Folger. He's one of our other favorites. And welcome Nomad Farmer, welcome Birdie Wooster, whoever else is watching. We're gonna get right into stuff. I got the espresso going. Yeah, let's check this out, see if we have that weird audio. Will it play? There we go. Hey, Tom's accordion. All right, ladies and germs, let's see. Hope you guys are doing good today. Yeah, we got Morgan on the stream. All right. And Heather, okay. Got some great representation here today. Let's see, what's going on? Any updates? Not really too much. Today starts the... Oh, wait, I was trying to do this. Let's see, hang on. I'm going to try this. Wait, I got to read the script. All right, welcome to Rising Read. I'm Dallas Vietti, and I guide accordion students on a journey to deeper musical expression, technical mastery, and creative fulfillment. Okay. I was watching somebody else's video, and I was like, I should probably have one of those for the people that are new. I don't know. Hey, Morgan. And on today's stream, we're going to start the first of 5 weeks of Christmas. Why? Because I find that people that I'm working with on one-on-one lessons are typically like enthusiastic to start holiday music earlier. And the holiday music is, obviously it's not universal, but it is maybe more universal than other tunes. And a lot of it is really applicable for arranging and exploring a lot of aspects of music, like harmony and rhythm and what to do with the left hand and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought what I would do is just start, and the format that I'm going to do for these, Nomad Farmer says learning songs can be slow and the time to play polished holiday music is so short. Absolutely, absolutely. And anything that we do on these tunes can also be done on other tunes, other similar tunes, and I hope to expand that out. There's a great new book by... Well, anyways, I'm still looking forward to doing starting in January, we're going to be doing The Artist's Way as a live stream, and I'm going to have that hooked up with a forum on my website. So if you want to share any of your Artist's Way stuff on the forum each week, that would be really cool. I hope some people do it. I think it'll be really neat. I'm going to be doing it. In fact, I'm excited to start. There's a lot of me that's like, I wish I could just start this now, the Artist's Way thing. But I'm waiting until the calendar year, and that way we can all kind of start together and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to start before we do it on the stream. So that'll be really fun. And then before that, we're doing the 5 live streams of Christmas. So this is the first one. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody that's already celebrated it, which Canadian Thanksgiving was a few weeks ago or a month ago or something. And some other people celebrate with different families, do it earlier. But be safe out there. I'm going to travel up to Bakersfield to hang out with my best friend from high school, and he might smoke a turkey. I don't know. I also had a great phone call with Frank Busso Jr. from Busso Music and Ernest Defner Publishing, who has the reproduction rights to the Ralph Stricker book. And I talked to him, and he said they're about to have a whole bunch of copies in stock. It's available for purchase, and I think just in a few days they're getting a shipment of the published books. So I'll be able to promote that on the air, and we're going to do that sometime as well. I don't like the idea of waiting until April to start that. So I might involve that too, although I don't want to get like over the top with this stuff. Hey, we got another another chat bot in here. And every time this happens, Bertie Wooster, I'm like, I should figure out moderation tools, because from this thing that I'm streaming from, I can't moderate. But whatever, I'll figure it out. Everybody do not click on that link. Okay, well, so with no further ado, let's get into this stuff. So this is my best attempt at getting the iPad music on the... Yeah, there we go. And I'll be able to mark it up with the Apple Pencil. This is kind of what I thought would be the best idea for us here. Let's see, let me turn the brightness up. Oh, it's as bright as it's going to go. I have an old iPad. But that should work. Okay, so just trying to think. Should I make that a little larger? I'm going to leave that as it is. So let's get into this. I feel like I'm going to try to do two songs today, and it won't take up the entire live stream. It might take up half the live stream or so. I don't know. But I want to approach it a couple different ways, talking about elements that I think that are important, ways to arrange it, and then go into like a flow for how to practice it in a way that builds the skills that we're after. And I was thinking about it, like what sort of sums that up, and I wish there was a word that I knew for this, but it is the ability to take music and then change it in a way, to change the performance of the music in a way on the fly, so we have this vocabulary, and that goes across genres and idioms, so like with classical music, you can't change the notes in most cases or the harmonies. You can play with the rhythm in some genres and for some composers, and you can certainly play with the dynamics and the articulations stylistically. And so I think for people who do like repertory performance, where you have music that's the notes are the same, the musicians want to work on ways that they can, express different things on different performances and keep it fresh and relevant to their spirit. For us that are playing what my friend Zelda and student Zelda calls vernacular music, of which I would consider Jingle Bells in any way that you play it, we can change the notes. We can do like pretty much anything we want to it. And so just to start off with, here's how I would suggest that you like maybe start whatever accompaniment that you want. I'm going to practice this Frank Morocco left-hand style. And I have two microphones going, so let me know if either microphone is too quiet or too loud, but I do have one out off the camera frame for the left hand. So we'll do the verse intro thing, the dashing through the snow. So dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. And then where does it go to? A D minor. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ho, ho, ho. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh. Okay. So that's a lot of music just with the voice in the left hand of the accordion. And that's an accompaniment. That's all quarter notes. It's that Frank Morocco style left hand. And a lot of the times, like I answered a question on the last live stream, a lot of the times it doesn't take a whole lot of super complex left hand chords to make it fun and bouncy and feel good, So one of the first things I would do is say sing the melody and work on your left hand. And in that process of working on the left hand, you might change some certain things about the chords or not. We're going to get there on this tune. But another, the most common way to play is the oompa. Something like that. So if I did dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to let's see. I forget the lyrics and I can't see it. It's What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. That shouldn't have changed to the F there. Okay, so start with playing your accompaniment, however you want to do it. Super simple or more advanced, more complex, and add your voice first. That lets you get a good idea of the tune. Not a good idea, but a good relationship with the tune. When we get to like where I'm kind of designing like how I might practice through a tune with an arrangement in mind and creativity and flexibility in mind and doing different keys, I usually start with just the left hand alone. And one of the really important things that's helped me a lot that I would suggest for all of you guys is that you try to start with first start with your bellowing in a template of 2 bars out and 2 bars in, and see if that works. And I find that, like, as a rule of thumb, 2 bars out and 2 bars in develops the control and the amount of air that you're going to need all the time, and then you can just adjust it. So if the phrase happens to change on beat 4, like here, you got dashing through the snow in a. So in a belongs to the next phrase and happens a beat before you would change. So you wouldn't want to change. You wouldn't want to play in a on the out bellow and then 1 on the close bellow. I'm acting like I don't know what the song. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you know the thing, but then when you start to look for the lyrics, when you start to read it, go from your head. I know these lyrics. We all know these lyrics. Anyways, so you can modify that. So I'm gonna go with, since this stream has a real jazz bent to it, because I have a jazz bent. I'm gonna do out and in. I'm in bar 4 now, and I ran out of air. So let me do that again. And my solution always when I run out of air is that I need to, on the close, I need to press down onto my leg a little bit more. So here we go. 1, 2, open. Now I'm going to close. See, that time I had perfect amount of air because I made sure that my palm was pressing kind of down onto my leg as I was closing it, which is very hard to see even if you were here. I don't know that you could see me doing that, but that's the technique. And then we'll go to the D minor. Close. Over the fields we dum da-dum bum. I should change. Do ba beep beep dum da dum da ba beep beep dum ba ba deep deep dee dum ba ba deep doo dum. It starts to get weird because the phrasing. So let me do it again. Boop dip dip ba ba beep beep dum da 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 deep dee dum. See, I'm not even trying to change for the melody yet. And then da ba deep deep dee dum and close. Ba ba beep doo dum da dum dum deep dee dum da da dum dum deep dee dum. Ah bum bum dim dum dap dap down da dip doo dee dee dum bum dee dee din dee dee din. Close. Dim dap doo doo dum. Open. Dap dap dum da da doo dum. And you guys can't see it, but it goes to a D7. Dap dum dum dap dum dum dee dee dim dee dee din. Close. Dum dum dee dee dum. Don't change. Da da dum da dee dum dum da da dee 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 dum. Something like that. Any way you do it, that's like a wonderful way to get it going. To understand the harmony and really work on, like, what is the most important element for playing solo is the left hand, getting your left hand accompaniment going, because that's where we are all going to fall flat if we don't have that going. So that's the first step. And then adding the melody on top of it, singing the lyrics if you want to practice, which I think is always a great idea, never a bad skill to have, because you don't have to be a great singer, and like everyone's going to want to hear you sing, unless you just got crummy friends who just don't, Grinch-ass friends that are just trying to be like, nah. But, you're good friends that want to hear you play your music. Singing is good and encourages others to sing too. So then after that, we can take the melody and we can run through the melody. So first let me do it, and I'm just going to change on the bar line every 2 bars. Let's see. I'm going to open this a little bit more. Nope, not that. Hang on. Trying to figure out what's going on with the zoom window here. It should. Oh, there we go. Okay. So first, again, like this is really gonna. It's like I've found that I really benefit a lot from putting the bellows changes every 2 bars in the music for most music, and then especially where the melody, if there's a melody line in the bass that makes that need to change, or a melody line in the right hand that needs to make it change, then I alter it, like I was saying. But let me go. Now I'm not gonna do the alteration yet. I should change there, but I'm gonna go. I think I messed up the bellows in there. Let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I doing wrong? It says oh, out on the D. There we go. So why not do it again until I get it right? 1, 2, 3, 2. This time I am gonna adjust it though. So there I'm gonna close. So open, boom, chicka boom, close. Now I gotta open on this A. Now I can close. Oh. Open on the 4. Okay. So that would be the first thing to get going in the right hand, I would say, is a simple single note melody and work out the bellowing in the right hand. Like, do the right hand alone, work out your melody so that it's set or whatever, and get it so that you have bellowing that works about every 2 measures, because that's usually going to be enough. It's usually going to be the sweet spot. And then you just need to know that you need to like alter it in these places, like here. Did that work? Almost worked. There, you need to change. And here, you need to change. Those are the only 2 places so far. So like, the basic bellowing would look like, let me get something that's larger here. We'll do, what color? We'll do green. Green for bellowing. Okay, that looks good. So if I'm gonna open here and then close here, that would just be every 2 bars, right? And then open and then close. And I like also to let my eye see it ahead of time. So because I'm gonna change like on the line break, I like to put it in there for my eyes to see. Usually I don't write it like giant marker like for a preschooler, but I want to make sure you guys can see that on the live stream. And then there's just these 2 places that we got to change the bellowing, because it's going to interrupt the phrase like that. It's pickup notes and they should belong to the next bellow shape. So there and there. So do that and include that whenever I'm doing, playing this. So then that becomes the same thing for left hand. So if I was playing dashing through the snow, now inna becomes part of the next bellows. In a 1-horse open sleigh, and over the fields we go. Let's see, that's kind of weird though. Say dashing through the snow. In a 1-horse open sleigh, 2, 3, 4. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. I'll dump the tills ring. And this time on Making Spirits Bright, there's no pickup there. Making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Okay. And then we can put that together. Do, 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 go, do. Something like that. Yeah, it's good to get the bellowing at the beginning when it's really simple. Okay. So then after that, let's talk about ways to get in there and change some stuff. So right immediately when I was doing the melody, I was throwing in grace notes. Let me get back from the camera a little bit, adjust these, move the iPad over. Oh, I'm actually going to check in with the chat here. Chat seems quiet. Okay, that's good. Near as I can tell. Let's see. Yeah, okay, good. So, good. Now you can see the top of the keyboard. So, what we could do, so now I'm going to play up here, like where it's common for, if I'm doing this in a jazz style, I might play here, but I'm probably not going to do too many chord melody stuff down here. It's a little too low. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. These are kind of bigger spread chords. It's like a kind of a drop two idea. But let's my advice for getting chords going is most people can intuitively get chords going on their own a little bit, and then when it gets a little bit more, then it becomes confusing or whatever. But my advice is put one chord in per phrase. So if we had, sorry, for the dashing through the snow, my hand is already here. So why don't I harmonize that top note? Right? That could work. I could do here, but that's hard. So let's just do, and that's just a C major 6. And then here maybe. One chord per phrase really does a lot, and it's way better and easier to get started on than trying to like go nuts and like let's see, that should be a dominant. You know, that will come. So you start with one chord per phrase and then see how it sounds, you know? Because also, too many chords more chords isn't always better, you know? But coming up arrangement-wise with adding some chords is definitely really nice. And I think most everybody can do it at not you don't have to be like a total virtuoso or whatever. So let's try that. So if I'm just putting it sort of on the top note. Let's see, D minor 7, because we're doing jazz. And then maybe I'll put a G7 in here. That just needs some sort of fill, which we'll get to in a second. So, sorry. And my bellows are getting off. Okay. So that is cool and that works. Also, just a single note melody with some ornaments. So grace notes. Syncopating the rhythms. So instead of quarter, 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 it's dashing through the snow. Eighth. Beam, dum, deem, dee, dum. Dig dee da dee dee dum. Dig da dee dee dum. Bap bap ba doo doo do ba doo da ba doo do ba beep beep dum do da 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 dum ba do bam deep doo da ka da ka da ka da ka da ka da ka dee ka dee ka dum ba doo de doo ba doo de doo da boom ba ba doo de. So we think of da da ka da ka da ka da ka da ka da. Bertie Wooster's talking about doing it in 12 keys and the key of G flat. Yeah, that's the hardest one for me, G flat. And maybe that's too early. I kind of like staying on the F the whole time. I don't love going to that D minor. And I can tell having played it through a few times now. So I'm going to change that on the chart. Let's see. And how do I do that? I use white. Strut over it with white and then D minor. Okay, cool. And then I'm just going to get rid of these bellow marks here because they're kind of ugly. So then, a lot of times when I'm going through it, I'll want a version that's just a single note melody, meaning no chords. Okay, so then I have a chordal version too that I'll work on. Okay, and we're gonna get to the Jingle Bells part, which is a lot easier. This is a more complex melody. So that's kind of like dressing it up, the right hand melody with just single note melody, but it can sound so good and so full if you have a nice accompaniment in left hand, whether it's the Frank Morocco style or the oompa. And then you got some rhythmic embellishments and then just a little half step grace notes. So now let's talk about some little fills. And the fills that work really nice for this simple swing tune, which would be kind of like the blues notes of like the minor third. The blues note of the minor third and the dominant seventh. So... I got a little off there. I'm trying to throw in the blues scale. It sounds a little contrived there, but I think if you do think more of a pentatonic scale, I would sort of stay away probably from that F sharp. It's a little too dark. Maybe. So, idea of some little fills. It's a little bit too much still, but we're just playing around with it. So then the fills can kind of become some more ornamentation. So if the first ornamentation was just adding grace notes, right? Right? So I have, with ornamentation, we're thinking of a target note. So usually the last part of the last note of our set of ornamentation is the target, which is the melody note. So say I'm gonna set for target. This is a good rule of thumb too. So just like I said that you can have just pick one note in your phrase for a chord, right? You could pick one note as your grace note. That was 2. Right? You could say only the first note. I can't help but doing that high one there. These things help. They help for getting it in your nervous system, and they help for just a starting sketch of what might sound good. You know, just sort of like a lot of this creativity is experimentation, you know, and it comes from ideas that you hear that you may know what they are. It comes from the subconscious that moves us, that we don't know why our hand went there, you know. It comes from maybe the bad ones we could attribute just to, what do you call it? Reflexes, you know, I don't know. But the point is having these little rules of thumb to get you going, and it can always get fancier from there. If we again take a note and say like the last note of the phrase and try to do something, a different kind of ornament, like more than one half step below. So I made sure that it was right. Okay. That's more and more ornamentation. And if you just wanted to start with a simpler one to explore, or even just crafting it and just pick like the first note of the phrase. Right? Or the last note of the phrase. Right? That sort of thing. For these ornaments to get you started. And then various ways to get it. Different kinds of ornamentation and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about making the left hand more interesting in a way that I would do. Birdie Wooster is digging this. All right. So one of the first things that I would do is I would think about putting some more dominant chords in here where the harmony is changing, especially where it goes from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, which is right. Let's see, I need this to show you guys. So right there, really like this is a C major chord, and then this is an F major chord. So that's the 1 and that's the 4. And so what I would do is I would put the 5 of the 4 chord here, which is, you can't read that, but I'm going to add a C7, and I want to play it both ways, and it's kind of subtle, but it adds a lot more motion. And I don't think I could really stop myself. Like that's just how I would play it. Make this black a little bit thicker. Okay, so this is a thing that I don't like. When books don't have the chord changes over every single chord, or every single measure rather. But so somewhere around here, I would probably add a C7 because that C7 drives us to this F. And here, I wrote the wrong thing, didn't I? I was trying to do an F major chord here. So we'll do that again, and we'll put F major. Okay. So beep bop beep beep dum. Hear how it's that little motion instead of. And with that, you could do, right? So there, I'm not just changing to the C7, I'm adding an E. What would I do there? Maybe an F diminished? So let's see if it works with the melody. I'm dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go. That doesn't really work too, because that's got an E flat in it, and the melody is an E natural. Doesn't work so well. What could I do here to get us there? Bum boom beam bum. What would I want to do? There's a D, now it's got to be C to B. So I'm trying to get motion here from this to that. That kind of works. How would I do that though? It kind of works. So what that is it's these like half steps moving. So there, it's the C over the E bass on this chord, on that melody note rather. And then this one I did not like the F sharp, so I'll just keep the F. Boom, baby, baby. So we have sort of that a swingy. It's definitely a real swing era kind of a groove. They're always using a lot more block chords on the Jingle Bells, and that's because it's easier to do. I should give you a little bit more of my left hand still. It's easier to do when we don't have the big leaps. Doing a bit. Cool. All right. Yay. We got a very great question. So, so the diminished chords are wonderful to add. And if we're going to add them in the left hand, I was thinking of connecting. Felix has a question of connecting from this chord to this chord. And I had put F sharp diminished, which sounds great just as a movement. Right, we have that repetition of movement. If I start here in the third bar, so it's a real, we create that symmetry or repetition of the thing, of the harmonic and melodic movement, but it doesn't work with the melody because the melody is an E natural here, and the harmony has an E flat in it, and in a way that it clashes. Let's see. It kind of works, but I feel like with singers, over the fields we go. So what else could we do? We could do like a half diminished. So that instead of grabbing F sharp counterbass and the C diminished, we'll grab the A minor to the G7. So I'm just going to go more and more motion here because for me, the song is so simple and so known. Like it's, everybody knows this song, and it's it's basically like a nursery rhyme of a Christmas tune. I'm going to add some more harmonies here. So let's get the harmonic motion going. And for some people, this will be like just gross, like you don't like it. And for other people, it'll be nice. And so in addition to putting the C7 there, I'm going to go ahead and put a G minor 7 before that C7. And let's see. That should work. All right, so from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the G minor 7. Let's see, where's my M? There we go. There I'm really feeling like it needs something. Maybe it's a... Let's see, what could I do? How could I get there? Because we have so much... There was trying the A, like F over A flat diminish to a G7. That doesn't work. It more wants to go to G minor. So let's see, what else could I do? That's another one. It's very old school. And then... Okay, let's go to the other half of the song. So we have Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle all the way. The stock changes. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in it. And then this book, which I like, has the D7. One horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, close deep top, doot doot open. Bop bum bum, but it doot dum doot 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 dum, or da da dee dee dum. Could be probably a 2-5-1 is better there. So that works, and that sounds great. And all the same things that we talked about, like a little bit of a formula here would be get your left hand accompaniment going. Again, we're doing this in the swing with the Frank Morocco quarter note, left hand, but deep da bum, deep da bum, da da bum, da bum, da da dum da dee da dum da da dum da da dum dum dee da dum dee da dum dee da dum da dum da da dum da dum dum da dee 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 da dum. You can absolutely do that, or any other kind of groove that you want, and then, you know, same thing. Add your ornaments. And then add your chords. So I could, this is not too low. Or a bigger chord. So let's see. This would be a drop 2. Let's see. My bad, guys. Sorry. I can't really do that. What would I do if I was going to open up? Probably like a. I think I would just keep it a block chord there, but that's nice. So if we're talking about the chords, one idea is to just do a closed position block chord, and just, if the melody's not moving, you can just repeat it. Like Jingle Bells is the same note, so chord, chord, chord. And then maybe it moves and it's, you don't want to work it out, or you can't do it. And then it's fine, and the variety is nice, you know, to have a little bit of this. Another thing that I do a lot is to play the melody note. So what I'm trying to show is add the chords in the bottom part of my hand, do the melody up here in the top of my hand, and add the chords after. Like that. I'm adding the rest of the chord after. And here I'm doing the 2/5 that I'm going to put in there, which is nice. So then you can, it kind of brings out a counter melody type quality, especially if you can get some moving lines in there. Right, they can hear the melodic movement there. So that's another thing that you can do that's a little harder, but very beautiful. Let's talk about where I would go with the harmonies and stuff. So here we're going to the 4 chord harmonically. The C is the 1 and the F is the 4. So whenever we have something like, not whenever, but most of the time when we have something like this, we can make this measure a dominant 7 leading to the 4 chord. So in this case, the 4 is F and the dominant 7 of that is C7. So I'm going to make this a C7 first. That's sort of like the first intellectual step. Dum 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 dip dum 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 do do da da. Right? And you could feel it pulling. And then the second step is to just make it a 2-5. So this is the 5, C7, and then the 2 goes behind it. Or before it, rather. So I'm gonna add a couple more here. I'm gonna add a 2-5 here. So this measure is the second ending. So the second ending, I'm gonna make that a D minor 7 and a G7. And then let's see, what else did I do? I went kind of bananas here. So I'm gonna keep this D7 here, but put it on the third beat and put the 2 in front of that. So you got A minor 7. So and jingle all the way, jingle all the, here's the G minor 7. Oh, what fun it is to ride. Here's the first ending, A minor 7. A one-horse open sleigh. And there I'm going to put another 2-5. So we're getting real kind of jazz school here, which is not necessarily more musical, but it is busier. What I want to. I was trying to work on a descending thing. It was there. To the A flat diminished, which I didn't find. That's always where I kind of go when we have like long stretches of the same chord. Like here you have 1, 2, 3 measures of a C major chord. So what can I do? I can put I can put what people call passing chords. So passing chords come a lot out of the diatonic major scale, but not entirely. So you got to change them a lot. So I start on the E. So I went C over E, and G7 over D, and C over C, and G over B, and C over A. Here's the A flat diminished, and now I'm at the G minor 7. It's really changing the whole vibe. It's no longer bouncy at that point. And this is another cool thing to talk about, is how all these changes, whenever we're changing the chords and stuff, it's going to change the rhythm of it, because there's the what we're feeling as a rhythm is really based on the harmonic motion. So, jingle bells, jingle all the no harmonic motion. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A little more, jingle bells, or at least some bass movement. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Let's see. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a... Let's see, how do I get to the D7? I don't really know. 1, that doesn't work. Oh, what fun it is to... I don't know. I lost my place. But just to try to get some melody, a lot of times descending. First, there was no additional melody. I was just playing the chords. And then I was moving the bass note inside of that. And then on the repeat, I started creating more, I added chords. Let's see how to. A. You know, so adding more chords there, and just keeping it moving. One of the models for that is the way stride pianists kind of work with tenths, with moving the tenths around. All right, so this is adding a lot of stuff to a really simple tune, which I think all the stuff I've added is bloating it. But a lot of what we do in the creative act is we kind of overdo it, and then we can edit it and chop it out, you know? So it's like, I might do some of this stuff on 1A and some other stuff on the other A and some of the stuff on 1B and some of the other stuff on the other B, you know. But I've explored the possibilities. So let's take a look at the other tune that we're going to do today, which is Let It Snow. Here we go. All right, so this has some chords already in here. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and the fire. Now, here's a question mark. How are we going to get to that E flat diminished? There's 2 ways to get to it. We'll come to that in a second, but we're just going to play the stock chord changes here. The fire is so delightful. I can't really read this. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even go to the D minor. That's wild. Okay. To G7. How are we gonna get that the E flat diminished again down here on the fundamental and G7? Now let's try the other E flat. So I'm going to go up to this. That's the counterbass of the B column, which is an E flat, and I'm going to use the diminished of the A. Again, the counterbass of the B column, and then back to G7. So that already is something that for a very beginner, somebody that's like newer to the left hand of the stradella, is not super easy. Those leaps drove me crazy forever. And I highly suggest that that you work on it. Like stuff like that, like just try to take the Great American Songbook, you know, standards and stuff, especially the ones that people know that have lyrics, and just figure out the movements on the left hand, because the stradella can absolutely do it, and we have options here. A good thing to have is a diagram of the bass chart so that you can see the sharps and the flats, you know, like a D sharp. Really, this is part of the B column, so we would call it a D sharp, but we have to think of it as a E flat here. And one of the things that it kind of determines where you're going to go, let me get that sunbeam off of my hand here. One of the things that determines if we're going to go to this diminished or this diminished. Now there's another sunbeam. There we go. I can't escape it. Where is that coming from? Oh, it's coming from the one, I think the one place in the blinds that is missing a thing. Okay, so neither of them are easy. They're all leaps. So this, one of the things that determines it is like what finger are you using. So if I'm using 4 and 3 here on the C and C major, so that's the first 2 bars. It's from 4 and 3, I have my index finger sort of available. Right? And 4 and 3 here, to get there, I have to sort of rotate my hand and then change. Whereas if I was using 3 and 2 on the C major, and then down to the E flat diminished, that makes it's a lot easier to go to the fundamental E flat diminished if I'm doing 3 and 2. And then what we got to G7. Now again, here we have the E flat diminished, so I might go, and then here. I missed the A7. Or here. This E flat diminished is not necessarily closer to the G7 than this one is. That's probably easier for me to find. So I think I might do that, but I wouldn't really know until I started putting this through 12 keys, which we will do in a moment on this tune. We didn't do it on Jingle Bells, but we'll do it on this one. So that's just playing the basic harmonies and just getting the stock harmonies. And this is even coming from a fake book called the Easy Christmas Fake Book. So these are simplified chords. I hear like a D minor there, but that's okay. We'll kind of dress it up in a minute. So that's the first step. The next step is to sing. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and change the bells. And the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. The doesn't show signs of stopping, and I bought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Sorry. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. That's an idea, right? And the other thing that we talked about was doing the bellows every 2 bars. So there is, let's see, a couple places where the pickups start, especially here. That comes over the bar line. That one comes over the bar line. This one kind of comes over the bar line. I mean, it does, but it's like up to your interpretation. So let's just say we're going to change. We're going to close there. We're going to open here. Close, close. We're going to open here. And then we're going to close there. Something like that, you know. And then open there. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful. So since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Those end up being, some of them are with not necessarily leaps, but chord movements. That's okay. So you could do that, or see if that bellowing works for you. We'll do the same thing in the right hand. and 3. 2 and 3. Open. We change here. Open. Close. And then the same kind of stuff. So all the embellishments. Your ornamentations. Some chords. Too low there. Does it? And I don't have a B up here at that high note, so I gotta. And that sounds really nice. And one of the reasons it sounds really nice and it works well is because it's scalar, meaning it moves in the scale. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm using the Barry Harris 6 diminished scale. So we have a C major 6 with G in the top, and then an F, or pardon me, a B diminished with an F in the top. So this is, let's see, this method, so the Barry, Harris 6th diminished scale. So this ends up with C major 6, so like that, twice. And then this becomes a B diminished 7. And then this becomes, the chord that you'll play will be C major 6. And then this becomes a B diminished. Let's see, the B and the A flat. There. And you could play, it would be fine to play that as a G7 there, probably. Let's see. Get this together here. A flat and F. That's a flat. So, C up here. And this is a C6 and a C6. So I have 2 videos, I think, on this channel about this. They're using Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and then I Love Paris for the minor key. But this is a perfect example. Right? So if you practice, do the exercise to practice the thing, and then this would be a wonderful melody to do it on. Here we have like a note that becomes the 9, this D major. So you could just take your, could just extend that up, or do a major 9. And this is a E flat, so this is a C major 9, or really it's like an E minor, not really, but you could think of it as E minor 7, because that's the chord you're gonna play in the right hand. And then this becomes like an E flat diminished 7, which is a really amazing sound also. Let's see. I'm not spelling this E flat diminished properly, but what a great sound. So that's some nice, it's like a D minor 7 going to a G7. So I have the melody note here is G in my pinky. Bought some corn for, or fire is so delightful. So, and then putting these tension alterations here. So I could do an A7 chord here with like the A at the top. Because the problem is, I could do that. It doesn't sound as good as opening it up to like a triad. And then because the melody is an A, just put your thumb on the G. And then a D minor 6 chord. So in general, one would be playing more sixth chords than seventh chords. And again, same deal. That sounds so good. Sounds so good there. And it's the same thing as up here. It's the Barry Harris sixth diminished scale idea. But it's minor, based on D minor. Minor, sixth, diminished. So the idea of the sixth diminished scale is whatever your tonality is. In this case, it's D. Every other note, the D, the F, the A, and the B, are all harmonized with your minor chord. And then the other notes, the notes in between, and he adds a note in the scale, E and G and B flat and C sharp. So the scale in minor, becomes, these ones get harmonized with a diminished chord. You could call it C sharp diminished would be the proper name. So you got, and then B natural and C sharp. So you have, since we know a place to go, it's so swinging. And then it comes to a E flat dominant. And there, I'm taking the notes of E flat diminished. I said E flat dominant, but I meant E flat diminished. But it's got like a little suspension thing in the middle. So we're taking like, for things that are like one note away from the chord symbol, you just take that, move your, whatever would be the inversion, move that note up. And then, snow, let it snow. Well, what can we do there? These get a little tricky when you have a melody like here, where the melody note is the same as the root of the chord. Because if you were to just put the chord under it, you wind up with your seventh. Doesn't sound that great, so we want to sort of pop it out. If you use the drop 2 idea, which would be dropping the 2. So the 2 means the second note from the top. This is the 2 right here. We're looking at an inverted G. The 2 is the F, and we're going to drop that down an octave. So instead of the F being right next to the G, we put it down here at the bottom. So, what are we doing? Right? Something like that. And I wouldn't want to do it the same way both times. So maybe the first time. Now the chord. Something like that. It's a little sloppy. It would take a little bit of, muscle memory practice, which I would do. I would kind of define that. And then set it and repeat it like that. So there's some ideas for harmonizing it in a jazz way and getting some extra jazz harmonies and stuff. Let's talk about the second thing that I wanted to talk about in these live streams, which is like how to practice it. And so let's see. I'll take a screenshot of this in case anybody wants it later. Okay. And now, I should have done that on another layer. This is something I need to get better about, is putting this stuff on different layers. Anyways, Okay. So let me simplify it, and then let me just talk about like a flow that I would do for practicing and learning it in a way that's deep, and it's going to build great nervous system stuff for me. It's going to build musicianship and musicality. And so I would take, especially at the beginning, I would take just a little bit at a time, and I would move it through 12 keys. So why don't I take the first, let's see, the first 4 bars. There's going to be the 1 chord and the 5 chord and the 1 chord. And then the 1 chord and the flat 3 diminished and the 5. So that's my first step. So my step 1 is to just play the left hand only. And now my step 2 is gonna be left hand and singing. Oh, the bum ba deep 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 doo dum dup da dum doo dum da doo dum. Right? And that's enough. Because you'll see, because this is going to get real deep and it's going to be easy to add more stuff. And we're practicing in a way that creates memorization. So now, I think a good thing for me that I've been doing is play the chords in the right hand and try to pick with a specific voicing. I'll do something that has the roots in there. I left out the A before. Let me do that in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So then I'm playing the chords as though it was accompaniment. Now I'm going to sing over it. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. But something like that. Now I'm going to put the 2 hands together. Something like that, and now I'll sing over it. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since I'm not thinking about the best kind of accompaniment in my right hand, which would be really considering the melody, I'm just trying to get the nervous system to do both. So here, let's jot these down. So 1, I'm going to rewrite this because this is going to be like a long list, but you move through it quick. And if it's too much, you just do less of the song. So instead of doing 4 bars, you do 1 bar or 2 bars. So the first step is left hand only. And the second step is left hand plus sing it. And the third step is right hand only. I should say right hand chords. Right hand chords. And the fourth step is left hand plus right hand chords. I really believe in this way, and if this feels like too much, just alter it. If it's too advanced, then make it simpler. If it's too much, then reduce the parts that you don't want to focus on. But always start with something that's way easy on you musically and on your nervous system, so that way you can really get centered and focus on it. And for me, it's always the left hand accompaniment. It's always the first thing I start with. So we've got left hand only, then left hand and sing. Then you have right hand chords. Then you're going to do right hand and sing. Then we're going to do left hand plus right hand chords. And then after that, I'm going to try to, I'm going to do the melody. And the left hand's going to do the melody. Pardon me. The right hand's going to do the melody. The left hand's going to do the accompaniment. And I'm going to do a single note melody first. Again. something like that. And then if I'm working on chords, maybe after that I would do a chord in there. Wrong melody note. Something like that. So left hand plus right hand melody. And then after that, I would do, maybe I would improvise. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Pardon me. At this point, it's like a little bit too early to get into real deep improvisation. But just connecting the brain, like sometimes, a lot of times actually, I'll just do the roots. Let's see. I got lost. Yeah, that's because I didn't do that part of it yet. And then once I've got the whole tune, then or more of the tune, like in a section, I'll work for more improvisation. But all this stuff is like, it's like this list of things that I go down. And then finally, so I'll put 7 is improvise. And then 8 is hands together, which is HT, and then plus singing. And this, you want to try to do something that's like not a locked hands thing, like we did in the previous step, but oh, the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, but I brought some corn for popping. His lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And then I think we move to a different key maybe. So that's the last step, is you're working on something that's more like a bouncy accompaniment. And you could also do like just sort of as though you're accompanying somebody. For the most of that, I was trying to stick with the same chord shape and just work on my independence between the rhythm of the two hands, which is super, super important. I highly recommend you do something like that. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to do the next step, which is transposing this to another key. So let's go up a half step, and we're going to follow this list. So the first step is left hand only. So I got to transpose this as a key to the new key, 1, 5, 1. And then 1 flat 3 diminished 5. Let's see, what is flat 3 diminished? F would be the 3, flat 3 would be an E. Where am I going to get that? Should I go down? This is crazy. If I'm here. So there, it's interesting. So maybe I should play this D flat. E? I don't know. That seems weird. So in this case, let's see. I think it makes more sense to get that E as the counter bass diminished. And then back to the 5. So let's try this. I'm in D flat. E diminished. There, I didn't get it right. Let's do it again. There we go. But I should have gone to... Yeah, that's right. And then let's see, where am I? Because it's going to go to the 2, which is, so it's going to be... Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so again. Not bad. Now sing the melody. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. I didn't get that. So delightful. Sorry, I think no. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since it's close enough for the YouTube or for the live stream, I mean. Now I'm going to do the right hand chords. So I need 1, 5, 1. E diminished to A flat 7. Now to B flat 7 to F minor. Is that right? Let's see. Dum do B dum bum bum dum. It's going to go E flat minor. Not F minor. Okay, so. To E diminished, to A flat 7, and then here we're going to do B flat 7, and then it's going to go to the E flat minor. Yeah, this is more advanced, guys. So if you're not here harmonically, you don't get all this, don't be intimidated, because there's many simpler songs. The diminished chords tend to be harder to think about, because they usually add like a chromaticism element. And this, we didn't actually take the step of like doing the harmonic analysis together, which that would take time to do. Okay, so I've done that step. So now I'm going to sing. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And then we got to go to B flat. Oh, so sing, sing. That should not. Since we know play. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful. And since we... There we go. Okay. So to that, now I'll do the 2 hands together, which is the next step. Step 5. Oh, the weather... Let's see. Woo! I want to go to the E flat minor, but this chart says to go to the A flat 7. Okay, start again. 1, 2, and 3, D flat. Here it comes. E diminished, A flat, B flat, E flat minor. Okay, it's coming along. And then what's after that? Then the melody. Oh, de puis. Ba ba do. All right. We got to it too early. Ah. I gotta get it right. Sorry, everybody. Ah! La-do. Okay. And I should repeat that a few times, but I feel like I'm killing the live stream here with the mistakes. But this is just great learning. However complex or simple you do this, it's phenomenal for everything, for all the parts of musicianship here. Okay, so what have we done? We did left hand plus right hand melody. So now just some improvisation. And at this point in this key, I'm absolutely just going to do the roots to connect my brain. I'm not going to do anything fancier than roots. So... right? This is so good for you too, because it really makes you think of what am I doing in the left hand, and then your brain and body and psyche start to understand that, oh yeah, I can be creative on top of this, not just reciting this sort of poem, meaning the chords or the melody. So that's an example of improvising. And now I'm going to sing and play two hands accompaniment. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, back to the E diminished. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping. I brought some corn for popping. And lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And I think it goes to the key of the 3. Is that right? No, it goes to the key of the 5. So that'd be... Okay. We got to do a couple more keys just to demonstrate. So I'm going to do the key of D. That's so much easier to find when I'm in the center of the thing. And also D is a key that I know way better than D flat. So I know the flat 3 diminished that I got to get here. This one that I just circled. That one is an F diminished. I know that. So an F diminished is easy to find, I think. Now I got to get back to that 5. And then I feel like it should be like 3, 6, 2, 5. That's what I feel the arrangement should be. Okay, so that's good. Now the right hand. No, now I do left hand to sing. Step 2. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Yeah. And the fire is so delightful. Well, since we've no place to go, let it snow. I feel like I want to do 3, 6. Snow, let it snow, let it snow. Do that again. Oh, the ba da do dee dee da do dee da down do down do da do da be ba do dee dee do ba do 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 do. A little clunky, but I would get it. Okay. Now, what's the next step? I did left hand to sing. Now I got to do the right hand chords. Something like that. And then I'm going to sing. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Da 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 do dee dee da do. Da da dee do dee do do do. Da ba da do dee dee do. Ba do 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 do. Something like that. And then my next step is to play the two hands together with chords. No, I should have gone to the A. Sorry, 2, 3, and 4. And. I keep going to the E minor, which is the 2, but it should go back to the A7. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And. I'm going to go to the A. All'oripo. Does that want to be? And then finally kiss goodnight. Okay. Yeah, so they're just like, okay, I was practicing hands together, and then let me get kind of creative with it. Some discipline, some creativity. Some rote repetition, and then some deliberately trying to be free and creative, changing it. All right, so we get that, and now we're on step 6, which is the melody. So I know it's an octave. And I know this is the 2. That much. What's that? I can't do it there. Shit. Now here, I decided to move the whole thing down because we've gotten so high that I don't have that note there. See, I didn't change the bells there. Ah! 1, 2, and 3. That's what I really want to do, a little chord thing. I would need to work that out a little bit, coming from the diminished. I can feel when my nervous system is not sure what I want to do. And that's why in these, it's good to explore, but really what's the best is to kind of define and reiterate, restate in all the 12 keys. It gets real kind of hard to stay focused if you don't do some playing around and pushing yourself and trying this thing, but do come back. Is my advice. So let's take it to one more key. So let's see, we did the key that's in C, and we get D flat and D. Let's do E flat. I can't believe this has been 2 hours already. How should I get to that flat 3? Counter bass of A. No. And then 3, 6. If I didn't do that, it would be down here. A flat, D flat, G flat to B flat. Let me try that and see if that works. Here it comes. That worked. So maybe I'll do that one. That's it. And then 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 over the counterbass of the 1. Here's the hard one. I'll probably go there. Now it's becoming a combination of different things based on like where I am. Because when it gets really low or really high, it's harder. When it's more in the middle, it's easier. So it's the same. We're getting the... I mean, we actually are technically hearing two different chord voicings precisely, but it's accomplishing the same chord. Either this way, this G flat diminished, or that G flat diminished. So if I'm here on F minor, I know that pretty well. Again, especially because I'm most familiar with the chord button and combinations of counterbasses and fundamental basses and chord buttons that are all around C, you know? Then I gotta go back to, oh yeah, here. Okay, so now let's do step 2, which is singing. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is... What should I go down here? So... Or should I go up there? Dang. Fire is so delightful. Fire is so... I'm closing though. Fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go... I'm going to do the counterbass. Let it, and then I'll go to snow, let it snow, let it snow. Da da do dee do da da do dee do da do. Get good bellowing. Do da do da do dee do. Da da do dee dee do. Ba da da. And this is okay. So at this point, I realize I don't have the nervous system reflex to do the thing that I want to do there. Like I keep hesitating. So then when things like this happen, then I try to like build that in. So I would just build in this. Make that one of the steps. Like maybe I would start with that step before I even try to do the tune. Like a step 0 is just to run the weird chord change that I have. It's not even weird, but you know, there's a lot of movement. It's changing. And it's also about just me defining it to myself. So we're coming from F and 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. The ba da do dee do dee do. Da ba dum do dum da do do do. I did not have it. La da do dee dee do. La da do dee do do dee do do. Okay, let's go on to the next part, which is the right hand chords. Let's see. That's it, right? Gotta go slower and think. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now we're going... I know why. Because I need to go B flat 7 chord. I'm not doing that. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and... To B flat. Now C7. Now F minor. C7. F minor. F sharp diminished. And... There we go. Try to get the bellowing this time. B flat 7, C7, F minor 6, C7, F minor 6, F sharp diminished, and then 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Okay, there we go. Now the next thing is the two hands together. I messed it up. All right, with the bellowing. There we go. Hey, all right, not bad. I'm gonna say very good to myself. Now, the two. Oh, well. Okay. Do ba dee 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 do do da. Oh. All right. Two. Ah, my gosh, guys, sorry. We're almost done. Come on. Shoot. One more time. Okay, this, I did not get that a lot of the times when I had my two hands together on the melody. And you know what I would do is I would do less. So I started off with not doing the entire melody, and then at a certain point I started doing the entire, like the A section rather. I was only doing the first four, and that really for me, and what I would honestly do in this process of working on a tune, is I would just take that much, just 4 bars, and move it through the 12 keys, and then add either the 2 more bars or 4 more bars, and then go on to, like, this song is AABA. So by learning 8 bars, you have 3/4 of the tune learned. Then you just gotta learn the B section. Okay, cool. So now after that is improvisation. So again, I'm just gonna stick to the roots. No. No. Shoot. Aha. It's too early for that part of it. Okay, now the last thing is we sing and we do the 2 hands accompaniment. Oh, oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I bought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So there I was getting into a little bit more improv stuff, which, like, in a strange way is easier. It's strange because it's more complex, but it's easier because, like, I'm just relying on my nervous system and my reflexes that are there already. I'm not trying to build new ones or even hold back my intuition and impulses, by being disciplined. That I have a lot of that on the chords. When I do the chords, like, it's very hard for me to be... I I feel like I'm a cat that's being held by somebody. I just I want to I don't want to do that. You know, that's so much easier. I don't have to. I can think about it in other ways, but at the same time, it's super good. So, man, we've spent 2 hours. So, okay, the first week of the live stream it's been 2 hours in song. So I think every other week I'm only going to do one tune, and that's cool. These live streams are always experimental. We didn't get to listen to anybody else's music. It's more like a 2-hour sort of masterclass or whatever. But that's how I approach my own music these days, and I have great success working with students in this way. And I just know that it builds deep creativity. So I think what I'll do on the next stream is we'll probably take a simple tune and we'll run it through 12 keys, but we won't get so complex and jazzy. We'll keep it pretty simple, but showing the beauty and excellence. What a terrible word. Just all the great things that you get running it through 12 keys. Let's check in with the stream here. What do we got? Let's see. So coming back to the reharmonizing and stuff. Felix said that he was going to have to try these out. I've only worked with dominants yet. Yeah. So working for jazz stuff, in order to really do anything with sort of a real jazz tune, you have to be able to make chords off of the counterbasses. Because without being able to do that, it's way too much leaping on the stradella. And luckily you can. Like the chords that I'm making are all on the stradella, and sometimes there's leaps, you know, like that E flat diminished going back to a G7. The fact that it doesn't resolve by a half step is a little weird. And it's even so much so that I would let me listen to some great versions of this and see what they're doing. I just want to make sure that that's the actual correct chord change there, because sometimes the sheet music isn't right. But anyway, that being said, even in that case, it's a little bit weirder, but a lot of times you'll have a leap, and then from the leap, you'll be able to move to something close. Like say you're on C and you have to leap to an E flat, maybe diminished in the fundamental bass, but then that would resolve to like a D minor 7 on the counterbass with D counterbass and F major chord. Or otherwise, you know, you're leaping and then resolving usually by half step. And there's many ways to make the chords. And you can hear like how in the last 2 hours of me doing this, everybody, that like the left hand, it's kind of like the background set to a theater production or something that's really important to be there, but it's not the main character. So like a lot of times when I want a major 7 chord, I just play a major triad in the left hand, because I know that what I'm going to be putting in my right hand is going to have that stuff. And then it makes the left hand easier to play, bouncier, clearer, that sort of stuff. So you get a lot out of that, simplifying. So you don't have to have, like maybe if you're coming from piano, anybody that's coming from piano, you don't have to have all of that stuff all the time at the left hand. And in fact, it's best not to. Minor 7s chords, a lot of times I do play minor 7s, and dominants, I always try to do the dominants. Anyway, we're going to keep iterating on this. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, all that sort of stuff. And